I'm back. Guess what went up while I was out food shopping? I actually went food shopping today. I didn't go yesterday when I told you guys I was. The tree. My daughter put the tree up while I was out because I was out for like 3 hours. She must have watched. She must have watched my vlog while I was talking shit about them. The tree is up, and while I went out shopping for regular grocery shit, I decided that I am going to cook. So I'm going to make baked macaroni and cheese, greens, of course, yams, cornbread, and a roast, a vegan roast. I'm also going to make a cake. It's a Crumbl cake or something like that. And I got some whipped cream and some fresh strawberries to go with the cake. So as I'm cooking, I guess I'll kind of bring you guys along. I'm about to make the cake now. It's the first thing. I'm going to make it now so that it can go in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. And then I'll start making everything else. So I'll be picking you guys up periodically as I'm cooking. But I just wanted to jump in and say, hey, I'm back. The tree is up. Welcome to another vlog. Still Vlogmas. Haven't stopped yet. And if you are new to this channel, thank you so much for watching my videos. I am Ereena George. Welcome to Work the Part, where we work and we travel. So I'll pick you guys back up soon. Peace. So the cake is in the oven. That is what's going on right now. I'm about to jump in the shower. And this takes a little while to bake. So I'm going to jump in the shower and then I'll start cooking the other food. So this is the finished cake. I have it over here cooling. It came out pretty perfect, if I shall say so myself. So that's the cake. I'm making a bechamel sauce for a roux. That's the pasta in the back. I'm making a roux for my mac and cheese. I have not put the cheese in here yet. I am about to. I just wanted to cook all the flour off, of course, because you don't want your mac and cheese to taste like flour. This is the cheese. Now, normally I use block cheese. I wanted to use this cheese because there were two different types of cheeses that that I wanted to use that they didn't have in the block cheese style, so I just got those. Cornbread is sitting and ready to be placed in the oven. There that is, looking nice and ready to go in the oven. I'm about to put it in the oven. The roast, the vegan roast, is already in the oven. I forgot to show you guys that. You'll see it when it's done, but it's already in the oven. And yeah, I'll pick you guys back up. Oh, I gotta make the sweet potatoes, which I bought in a can because I did not feel like making it from scratch. It was made from scratch on Give Thanks Day, but not today. I'll be back. So I put the sharp cheddar in first. So it is cooking down. Let me turn this heat down some. So I have an electric stove and I really don't like having, I appreciate the stove. Always got to let the universe know that you appreciate what you have. So this is the, I'm sorry, I appreciate the stove, but I really miss a gas range a lot. So this was the sharp cheddar, which was the block cheese that I had there. I put that in first. As you can see, it is melting. It is melting. It is boiling. I'm going to put the other two cheeses in there. They are not going to take long to melt, which is why I'm putting them in there last. I might put more milk in here after I put the other cheeses in and season it. I just want to see how, as I was saying, I might put more milk in here. I just want to see kind of how it's going to be once all the cheese is in here melted, because right now it's kind of thick. I do not put eggs in my mac and cheese. I know some people do. I believe my mother does as well. I know my sister used to as well, but I do not. So that's what we have going on. Okay. So now let me put the other cheese in. So yes, a 3 cheese mac and cheese, sharp cheddar, Gouda, Havarti. Yeah, I definitely think I want to put more milk in here. And I also need to season it. So let me do that. I only have one hand while I'm holding you guys because I don't have my tripod. So I'll pick you guys back up. I'm back. I seasoned the cheese, put the pasta in it, have my pan. I like to put some butter in the bottom of my pan just because I don't want it to stick like that. Of course, I have to put some sazon in there. And don't mind my stove, it's dirty because I'm cooking. That looks good. Macaroni in a pot. That's some wet. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's perfect. The perfect amount of pasta to cheese. I like that. I like the way that looks. Here it is, ready for the oven. So I'm gonna put some foil on it, put it in the oven, and then take the foil off in a little while. Y'all, I done did so much. My battery had died. I'm making my mushroom gravy now. Just frying up sauteing some onions. Got the gravy in the can. I'm gonna season it up. Everything that should be in the oven is in the oven. It's very hot. So cornbread, mac and cheese, yams are down there. That is the vegan roast. So everything is shortly done. Just have to do the greens. And then should be good to go. Here we are, guys. The finished product. Looks delish. That's the loaf with my mushroom gravy. Kale. And here we are, my beautiful crumb cake.
That shit out of your hand.
Stop! I recorded. I'm leaving this in because these kids are so goddamn disrespectful. With fresh strawberries and whipped cream. This is yours.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You said you was ready for dessert.
I'm getting my orders. That's yours.
No, it's not. I made your plate. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another video. Yes, vlogging still on. Let me find my remote because I need to turn this down. Okay, so my bed is a mess again. I'm actually cleaning out my closet. I'm cleaning out my closet and eating one lonely hot dog, the vegan hot dog. It's done now. Oh. Hold on. I've been cleaning out my closet for the last 2 hours. I have a bag here. That's the first bag. Stuff that I'm throwing away. Because if it cannot fit in my damn bin, it's going out. I just don't have the room for this stuff anymore. And still juice on my teeth. I just noticed that. Yes, I don't have the space for it. The dryer's going. My daughter's washing clothes. I'm trying to figure out why. Yo, I have so, it seems like I have so many clothes. When I take them all out and I'm doing all of this, I'm hot. Geez. But I swear I don't. It's just stuff that I have drawers now. Okay, so, oh look, I found the robe. You know what I am missing though? I have a Fenty robe that I bought at the Fenty store, and I cannot seem to find it. So, hopefully it's in one of these drawers. I don't know. Oh. I don't know. I'm actually having a little cocktail right here. This is a little Hennessy and orange. Work skirt. I hope you guys' Christmas was all that you wanted it to be. I actually bought that to go with that, so I can't throw that away. I did not do a thing. Where's the other shorts? No, I bought that to go with that. Where's the other shorts? Oh, the other shorts are right here. I did not do a thing on Christmas. I literally, here's the top. I literally sat, so I'm going to have 2 drawers of summer stuff because the bottoms to these are in the other drawer, which I'm going to have to put in that drawer because it's set. So I'll put that over. I literally sat in the house on the couch all day. All day. I can't find drawers. Every time I go in there to look for some underwear to put on, I can't find them. These are 2 of some of my favorite pants. I can't find them. Which in turn pissed me off. And it's been pissing me off. I see a pair of underwear that I'm about to pull out. I've had these underwear for a minute. I love them. Some of my favorite underwear, but I'm about to throw them away. And I'm looking to the side because I don't want to throw them away. I don't want to throw them away. I can wear that in the house. I don't want to throw them away. I don't. But I am. And they make my ass look fat. Where did I wear this? This is cute, actually. I'm gonna keep that. Ooh. My Hello Kitties. These are the underwear. I do not want to throw these away. But I kid you not. I've had these I'm not even gonna tell you how long I've had them. I've had them for quite some time. Stay in the bag. Y'all just sat there and watched me reminisce on some underwear. I've had them for so long. It's so and I'm not cleaning my stuff because it's the new year. I'm cleaning it because I need some order and some space, like, and I still don't know if this is gonna give me the space that I'm looking for, but I need space in my closet. I don't have it. This way I know where the hell they are. These make your ass look fat too. Now you notice I keep saying to make your ass look fat because my ass is not fat. It's juicy, it's there, but she ain't fat. Now, don't be surprised if one day you see me and my ass is fat and I got some hips. But just mind your business on that because it's happening. Alright, I'm going to pick y'all back up later. Let me just focus on this. Hey y'all, I'm back and look what I got. So I felt like coming outside today and I said I want a cookie. So I came over here to Crumbl cookies. So this is their classic chocolate chip, which I love. This is the cookie of the week. This is tres leches. This is a Oreo Crumbl, whatever, in chocolate with sprinkles. Usually when I get these cookies, I'll cut them into four. This one is huge. I cut them into fours and then I taste each one of them. Let's see what this cream tastes like. Okay, so the cream on that one is good. The cream on the tres leches is good as well. And then I also got some Starbucks, so I got a drink for my daughter, and I got me a chai tea latte warm. As I was saying, I've been in the house for days now, and I don't mind being in the house. As a matter of fact, I want to go home and go right back in the house. I have to stop at the store. My son says that he would like some jam. So I'm gonna get him some jam because I know that he wants to make peanut butter and jam. Now, I've been in the house watching Scandal. No, come on. I've been in the house watching Scandal for the last maybe 36 hours. I have to check because sometimes they accidentally give me coffee. They've done it like 2 or 3 times already. It is so packed out here. I'm trying to figure out why there's so much traffic when I thought people went back to work. Now I know teachers and school staff and stuff is not back to work because I used to work in a school. It used to be off, but just a lot of people out. Which is why I don't want to be out. When did that open there? Every single store at this little shopping thing closed. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there used to be a Salad Works that closed. Oh wait, no, this spot next to it is new. So now it's the medical marijuana dispensary there and nothing else. And then a mattress place, which they were not there before because that used to be a, what is that place people take their kids for pizza? What, cheap pizza? I forget what you call it. Yeah, so they need to figure out what to put there. I thought the Salad Works being there was perfect, but the thing about business is when you have a business, and people never say, well, I don't know if people ever say this, but when you have a business, especially in a strip of other businesses, you have to make sure that those businesses that are in that strip are strong as well. Just as strong as your business, because once they start closing, your business will suffer. But when they closed, I knew something was going on over there. I'm like, okay, they're closing? And then, boom, the Salad Works. But the Salad Works was there for a while after they closed, but Salad Works is now no longer there. And that was just a mattress place and a marijuana dispensary. That marijuana dispensary should be getting a lot of business. But again, for where it's located, it makes it very challenging. So, perfect example. I need to get my skin together here, my hair. Perfect example. So, around the corner from me, I would say, is a Walmart. It's not a super Walmart, it's a regular Walmart, but I can probably get there in 2 minutes tops around the corner from my house. There's a Walmart, the Home Depot. It's like a little shopping area. There's another shopping area where it has the Walmart, the supermarket, the Home Depot, Max, Marshalls, different places. The wine store, Subway, whatever. In that same one, there was a restaurant. It was like a classic Chinese restaurant.
crab. I don't eat none of that.
So I knew that I was never going to go in there because I don't eat seafood at all.
So they did what they did in there.
It opened up.
My daughter said she went in there with her friends, I think maybe one or twice. I think she said the bread on the biscuits was good. Something was good. They went in there like once or twice.
So they opened up in 2021. And I'm sir. Talking about flaming goddamn crab. He saw the light was red and he's still gonna make that turn with that big ass truck. So
they opened up in 2021.
I don't know how the business was going, but like I said, my daughter said it was nice in there and she said the bread was good.
Here we are, 2022, December 2022. I was walking past there
to go to the TJ Maxx. This was in end of October, early November. There's a sign on the door. As of, I believe it was November 24th or November 27th, they were done. They were closing down the business. I'm like, yo, they haven't been even here for a full 2 years. I don't even know if they probably made a full year, but not even a year and a half the business was there. And they have to close because no one's frequenting the business. And I don't know, when you own a business, one thing that I do know, because I watch a lot of stuff and research a lot of stuff and just, I like to know shit.
You are opening a restaurant.
Number one, the restaurant business is rough. When you're opening the chain, I think it's a little bit easier because it's a chain. You already know what you're serving. The people that you're serving already know what you're serving. It's a chain business. So, but I know that you still have to do your demographics and shit like that, just to make sure that the clientele is there for you to continue to, to run your business. I don't think they did that. Because I'm not trying to be funny, but the area where I live is not an area where you would put a flaming crab. Now, they have another one in the city right next to mine. It's still open. But in my city is not where you put a flaming crab. Now, I know all people of all nationalities. I know everybody, eats seafood, right? But it's a specific type. And the type of people that I think they thought lived in this area that would frequent that business does not. People will go across. I'm sitting in the parking area right now. People will go across to the buffet over there. People will order from the Chinese restaurant. That buffet stays packed. If you go into that buffet any time of day, that buffet is packed. How do I know? Because I've done it. I've gone in there as soon as they open for lunch. I've gone in there for dinner. I've gone in there on different days of the week. Packed. Sundays, I guess people get out of church. Packed. You walk in there, you see all types of people. So I guess that they assumed that those people would migrate over to this flaming crab. Different demographic, my boy. Different demographic. And I don't think that they did enough research. I really don't think that they did enough research. And it sucks because I heard through the grapevine that a few of the owners of this new flaming crab that opened up over here were minorities. That's what I heard. Not sure if it's 100% true, but I'm 95% sure because the person that told me is in that business and they know a lot. I heard that a lot of the majority of the owners in this were minorities, and it sucks because they did not. All you got to do is look around. All you have to do is look around the area that I live, and you will see
that you don't see me a lot. You don't see this a lot. Now, am I seeing it more often? I've been over here almost 7 years. Has it changed drastically from when I moved over? Absolutely. I've known a few businesses since 2020 where they were giving out all the loans, all the grants, people starting business. I've known of a few businesses that started in my area in either end of 2020 or early 2021 that are now closed. A lot of them are in the food industry because the people out here, not only do they not eat a certain type of food, they don't go to certain type of places based upon who owns it. I'll give you another story, and then I'm going to run inside and get this jam. Very, very popular hot dog place out here. Been there for years. And this is not just me saying it. This is me speaking to the owners. This is me doing the research. Years this hot dog place has been there. It was the place all of the emergency services people went. Anytime I went there, you saw mad police vehicles there. They would go there to get the hot dogs. They were sitting there and eating. It was a small little spot. So not a lot of people can be in there. But when I'm telling you, when I went over there, you always saw cop cars. You always saw police in there. You always saw EMTs, different type of professional people, people that work in the hospitals, whatever. Always there. There was not a moment that I went to that place that it was not full of people. In 2020, 2021, somewhere around there, within this last 2 years, the owners decided, okay, we've been here 40 plus years, whatever, they decided to sell the business. A young black guy came in and bought the business. How do I know? Because I went there to get my hot dogs, and they had vegan hot dogs, and they had vegan chili, they had vegan stuff, so that's the place I used to go for hot dogs. Went there to get my hot dogs one day, saw him working behind there. Now, me knowing the owners, the previous owners, and knowing the demographic of the people that used to work there when I used to go there for the years that I moved over here, I had never seen a black person working there. So when I went there, I noticed that the sign was changed, and then I went in there and I said, oh, Lord, like I always do if I go into a place. I'm like, oh my God, it's under new ownership. And he was like, yeah. He told me that he bought it, when he bought it, whatever. So he's making my hot dogs and getting my food, and we're just chatting it up. And I'm asking him how's business, because at that point he hadn't been open for a few months. So I was asking him how's business, and he was like, it's okay. You know, he's like, it's okay. Definitely different. He said, I'm definitely surprised at the reaction that I'm getting. You have people that have been coming here for a long time, and then when they come in, they always ask for the old owners. Oh, if I'm working here, where's such and such? And I let them know that it's new owners. And he was like, I just look at the look on their face. So I was like, yeah. I said, I completely get that, and I'm not surprised that that's what you're getting. But he was like, we're going to push through. We're going to do what we have to do. Make sure this. Now, mind you, they're still serving the same exact thing. They did not change the menu. They're still serving the same exact thing. He basically bought the business complete. Still same exact thing. Still hot dogs, still whatever. Nothing changed. Nothing changed except for the owner. So I get my hot dogs. I tell him good luck. I move. Fast forward to the weather changing. That used to be my spot in the summer, so the weather changed and it was getting warmer, so I was like, yeah, my hot dog spot. Fast forward. I go online to read an article about, because this thing, I don't know what it's called, but they have this thing where businesses in the area open or close, new businesses that are coming, whatever. I'm reading this article, and they're talking about the hot dog spot. So I'm like, oh, okay, they must be talking about, when they sold it, the brother now owns it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No. The brother couldn't even survive the business. People stopped going there. When I was speaking to him, he told me that within the months that they were in business, when they first started to where they were at that point, which was about 3-4 months in, all the business that they used to see, police officers, all that stopped. They literally were probably open 7 to 8 months, and they sold the business. They sold it. They had to sell it. They had to sell it. Couldn't survive because people stopped going there. Not because the menu changed, because the owners changed. You think that you go into a business, and because you buy the business with everything in place, and you're not changing the formulas, all you're doing is changing the name, you're not changing the inside, none of that. You assume that it's 2022 and people are no longer on that shit. For you to assume that, you're an ass. And I'm not saying that the brother is an ass. What I am saying is that when you are in any type of business, you gotta make sure that you're checking for shit. You gotta make sure that where your business is, people are going to welcome you with open arms. I'm not fucking kidding. That is not the case here. Actually, I need that. Why did I do that? I'm so used to doing it back then. That is not the case here. When I tell you, I was surprised. It's like, I don't know. It's like buying a McDonald's. It's like buying a McDonald's. And this is why I always said this to myself. And it's a shame that you have to think like this. But I always said this to myself. If I were to purchase a business, a chain, a franchise, anything like that, I would not put myself in the forefront. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, from personal experience, I would not put myself in the forefront. I had to do this myself. So I told you guys that I used to be a wholesaler. I forgot that I had my own story. I told you guys I used to be a wholesaler. And when I was wholesaling, I made pretty decent money. And when I say that, because you don't have deals back to back to back, but when you do have deals, I've had multiple deals close to each other, but when you do have deals and they're good deals, you can make, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 on one deal, right? Do that a few times a year, you're good to go. So I had a property. It was 2 acres of land, and there was a what do they call it? Was it a trailer home? Yeah, I guess it was a trailer home, a model homes or whatever. So it was like a double decker, maybe, I think it was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but it was old and it needed a lot of work. It was up in the sticks. I had never been to this city before. Again, at that time, I was living here for 3 years at that time. And I had been wholesaling for a year. No. I had been wholesaling for... Oh, shit. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually did really good. I had been wholesaling, actually doing it for 7 months. So yeah, so I was wholesaling for like 7 months when I got this particular deal with the land. I had never been to this area. When I was driving up there, I'm like, girl, what the fuck is you doing up here? But I didn't care. I was thinking about the bag. I'm like, yo, this would be sweet. I know people are moving over here from Jersey. People are moving over here from New York. People want land. I went to go see the land, the trailer house, the trailer home. I wasn't even thinking about it. Although I feel like the trailer home could have just been redone on the inside because it was big. It was a 2-bedroom, 3-bath. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But anyway, it was more about the land. It had a little, not a lake. It had a small little river running through it. It was vast. It was 2 acres. It was huge. It was open. It was right off of a major, when I say major highway, it was a major highway for being up there. So, I'm like, shit. I'm up here in this area. I'm black. Like, I don't even front about shit. I'm up here. I'm black. Who the fuck is going to do business with me? I say that in my area where I live, and it's not even up there in the sticks, but I was like, God damn. While I was up there though, this is why you have to be observant. When I left the property with the contract in my hand, I saw signs while I was driving that said, cash for houses, we'll buy your house, cash, we'll buy your house, cash. So I'm up here thinking, I already know those signs. I'm like, that's a wholesaler. I know it. I already know it because I've done signs like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is a wholesaler. But I'm like, well, who the fuck is wholesaling up here? Who's wholesaling up here? One thing that I didn't know if it was a man or woman. One thing that I did know is that they were white. I knew that. For them to actually have signs put up there and no one to snatch them down, and they actually had signs everywhere. When I was driving back, I saw the signs everywhere. I'm like, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but I do know that the person is white. I knew that. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just being honest. Okay, so I'm back. I cut the cookies. I cut the cookies up. So this is the Oreo something. This is a piece of the chocolate chip, and then the tres leches. I didn't want that chocolate cookie. I got it for the kids to taste. So anyway. That tres leches is, it's alright. Let me tell a story. So as I was saying, I didn't know who the person was, but I knew that they were white. So as I'm driving back down, I'm driving home, I'm like, I need to find out who this person is. Because one thing that we did as far as wholesaling, we would do joint ventures. I'd join up with another wholesaler. They'll reach out to me, see if we have buyers, whatever. So I was never opposed to that. I already knew that about the business. You work better together sometimes. So I call the number. No one picks up. I leave a voicemail. So as I'm driving down, because sometimes the signal used to drop or whatever. So I get back in my area. I get a call. It's a female. And she's like, yeah, someone called this number, whatever, you have a property, blah, blah, blah. So I introduce myself, tell her who I am, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We talking. I tell her about this property that I have up in her area that she focuses on. She was like, really? I'm like, yeah. She was new. She had not closed on the property yet. But she did some program. I'm not going to name the program. It was a 5-figure program that she paid for, and she had not wholesaled the property yet. She said she was still completely lost. So I'm like, all right, bet. You're lost. I'm not. I'll help you. You help me. I am not opposed to sharing money. I'm not opposed, none of that. So I was like, okay. I had put the property out there, different things to get buyers interested. Pictures, I put information about the property. So I'm getting emails, I'm getting calls about it, stuff like that. I'm getting interest and inquiries. So I'm sending out pictures, but you know, some people just want to know what you have, and they're actually wholesalers themselves, and they're not really people who have the money to buy it. They just want to know what you're doing. So a lot of that BS, which I already knew. So she's doing it on her end. I gave her all the information about the property. We're like, all right, we're going to do this joint venture together. I sent her a contract for her company to sign. Her company, my company, we signed a contract. This is a joint venture. We find a buyer. We split it. Okay. So I had someone who reached out to me. Didn't even want to see it. Didn't want to go see it. Just for the 2 acres alone and where it was, they were like, okay, we want it. I'm talking to this buyer. At the same time, there's a call beeping in on the other end. So I'm talking to the buyer. I'm like, all right, we're talking about contracts. I'm like, okay. I get to the other call. It's her. She has a buyer. See, it didn't take her long. I don't even think it was 3 weeks. I'm saying 3 weeks, but I don't even think it was 3 weeks. I think it was probably 3 weeks until we closed. She had a buyer. Now, I could have done one of two things. I already knew what I was putting the property out there for. I knew how much I was going to make on this deal. It was going to be a 5-figure deal for me. It was going to be my biggest 5-figure deal. I knew what I was going to make. I had a buyer. She found a buyer. Same day, around the same time.
Now, I could have said to her, you know what? A buyer just reached out to me. We're about to go under contract. Your service is no longer needed. But I didn't, because I felt in my gut that her buyer was a true and real buyer, and they were going to be no BS. I was right. So I'm like, boom, fine. I can either take the 5 figures or I can split it with her. I decided to split it. So I'm like, okay, I just had a buyer on the phone, whatever, they're serious about it, they want to go ahead. I said, but I know what I said to you, and I'm going to keep my word. I said, so we'll go with your buyer. When can they close? 5 days, cash, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. I'm like, boom. Buyer goes under contract. I send the contracts to my title company, because here you don't need to have attorneys. Send it to the title company. Stuff comes back clear. We are at title closing within a week. Funny story. When I'm wholesaling, the buyer and the seller and the seller and the end buyer never meet. I'm the middleman. Funny story. We get to the closing table. We had an appointment for a specific time. I get there. I'm waiting for her to pull up. Because, again, this is her first closing. She gets there. She's, like, nervous. She's like, she can't believe it, whatever. She had been trying so hard that she couldn't close a deal. She couldn't even get a deal. We walk in. The title guy, my guy, is sitting there. Seller is sitting there signing. Buyer is sitting there signing. We walk in. Seller and buyer actually know each other. Seller just bought her new piece of land from the buyer. That's how small that town is. The new house and the new land that she's living on right now, she bought that from the same person who was sitting at the table buying her 2 acres. That didn't stop my check, though. Everything was cool at the table. Everyone signs. They shake hands. We all shake hands. They leave. My title guy hands me a check. He hands her a check. She opened it and damn near passed out. And she just looked at me. And I said, I told you I was going to keep my word. We walk out. Before we said when it closes, we was going to go get lunch. We walk out. She's like, oh my fucking God. I cannot believe this. She's like, in no time, in less than 2 weeks, probably 2.5, she was like, I cannot believe this. I've been trying to do this for a year. I've been trying to get my first deal for a year. I've been trying to wholesale my first property for a year, and I just could not get it. And I spent all that money for that course, going to those seminars, and she's like, I could not get nothing. And she's like, here we are in less than 3 weeks. And she just kept looking down at the check. I'm like, I told you. So we go to lunch, and she's still raving over the money. And she's like, I thank you so much. She said, because you didn't have to work with me. You already had a buyer, You could have just, closed this deal without me and took all the money, whatever. I was like, you're right. But that's just not how I did business. I say all of that to say, in this area, and in any area of business, you have to know where you're doing business. You have to know that sometimes you need a person that's not you to be at the forefront. And I knew having her face out there, pushing this property, showing people this property, was going to move the property quicker than anything else. I knew it. Did I take the L on half the money? Yes and no, because the L was a loss on the money, but the L was also a lesson. Something that I already knew. Sometimes you got to put other people in the front. And can I tell this story because I helped someone out who had been trying to do something for a year that I allowed her to do within the 3-week period? Absolutely. Does that feel fucking good? Absolutely. And I cannot tell you how many times I've done that when I was wholesaling. Oh, you're new? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Da, 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 da. Can we do this? Let me do this. I did it with a house right around the corner from mine. So, and again, they were not black. You can help people. People can help you. people can also screw you over. But I say all of that again to say, in this area, unfortunately, I think this has blonde, this is blonde Oreo crumbles on top. In this area, unfortunately, that's just how things roll. I know someone who is steep in this business out here. I've worked with him. I've worked with, and he's not a realtor, he's a wholesaler. I've worked with him. I've worked with the realtor that he works with. I know a lot of people in the real estate business out here just because I was wholesaling. He's a brother. As a matter of fact, he's African. We were having a conversation a few months ago about a property, and even he said, he was like, I might have to get one of my associates to go up there to represent us in order for the seller to feel comfortable. I mean, it's what it is. It's what it is. I moved to this area because the schools are great, it's quiet, good for my kids. But when you move into areas like this, when you move into neighborhoods like this, you have to understand what it is that you are getting. And I caught on very quick. Old boys club, old girls club, old neighborhoods club, old who you are. Listen, I caught on very quick. So yeah, it just sucks that those businesses are no longer in business in this area, because this area does need different variations of places to eat, different variations of owners. It just needs different things. And is it happening? Yes, it's happening. It is happening. I have a friend and her husband, they own a really, really nice barbecue spot on a very, very busy downtown block here. Perfect location. Was it easy for them to get it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Did they get the runaround? Did they get the shit? Did they get the excuses? Did they get everything under the sun? But see, when you have a woman who's determined as she was, they got it. It took them a while, but they got it. And that's what happens here. You have to fight to actually get something here, because they will put everyone else before you because of this. And that's just what it is. Anyway, what I got? Listen, I'm dirty. My face is dry. All types of stuff, but I'm gonna go right now. I might pick y'all back up later. I might not. If this is the end of this vlog, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do not know when Vlogmas is going to be over. I feel like I'm going to keep going. But, yeah, just keep watching. Keep clicking that like button. And I'll see you in the next vlog. Peace.
When our bodies meet, I don't care.